Thursday, April 4th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you. An interesting weather setup for sure today. More on that in just a second. There's a look back at the high temperatures from yesterday, upper 50s and lower 60s across much of the Piedmont. We got into some low 70s down further south along the South Carolina coast. Charleston hit 71 yesterday. Now our temperatures this morning are pretty cool, and our dew point temperatures are very dry, very low. And so that's going to help to lock in a cold air damming setup here as this wave of precipitation continues to advance on in. Already a little bit of light rain in northern South Carolina and southern North Carolina. The rain gets much more extensive as you head south into much of South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. This is what the radar looked like about 5:15 or so this morning. And that continues to just gradually develop northeastward and into North Carolina. In terms of rain amounts, this is what the RPM is printing out, and I think it's on the right track. A lot of the Piedmont, probably a half to 1 inch of rain or so. Now, with this cold air damming setup in place, the mountains and even the foothills are going to see a little bit of wintry precip with this. This is the mountains, and actually the RPM continues to be very aggressive with the ice amounts up there in the mountains, some quarter inch or better totals of ice accumulation, a possibility in some of the colder spots in the mountains. And then here's the snow map from the RPM, and it really puts down a nice little hit of snow from northern parts of Watauga County up into Ashe County and into southwestern Virginia. So for this reason, this is what the current advisory situation is like in the mountains. You have winter weather advisories for all those purple shaded counties. Wouldn't be surprised if that wound up getting expanded to include places there in Ashe County as well as we go forward in time. Now, for the foothills, Wilkes County, maybe westernmost Surry County, a little bit of wintry precip is certainly a possibility as well. I don't think a huge accumulation potential is there, though, but it certainly bears watching. The system's pretty interesting. Big cold air damming setup. That system will clear on out with time tomorrow, and eventually we get back into much brighter conditions over the course of the upcoming weekend. All right, here's the regional Canadian model. And you notice it's printing out that freezing rain and sleet, and this is valid at let's see, that'd be about noon today. A lot of the foothills and the mountains in that type of activity, and then we move forward in time. This is out to later this afternoon, and it's kicked over to a period of some heavy wet snow in the northwestern North Carolina mountains and even east along the Virginia border for a little distance there. And that's probably the scenario that happens. In the mountains and the northern foothills, we see some rain and sleet initially, maybe a period of some heavy snow briefly before the warmer temperatures try to kick everything over to rain later on. In terms of the WPC, the Weather Prediction Center, this is what it looks like in terms of their probabilities for more than 1 inch of snow. So you can see the mountains and the foothills included in those probabilities. And then we get taking a look here. Let's see, this is going to be the ice accumulation potential of greater than 1/100th of an inch. And then here is the the 10th of an inch of ice category and the quarter inch of ice category. So there's the potential certainly for some decent amounts of icing there in the mountains. And maybe even the northern foothills seeing some wintry precip accumulations. There's the upper level disturbance driving all that, moving into the Mississippi Valley today, swinging into our region tomorrow. And then look at all the ridging here across the southeast as we get into early next week. Really nice stuff. So on the European, this is what this looks like. There's that low pressure near the South Carolina coast this evening. The good news is that I think this pulls out a little bit quicker than it originally looked like, so we might even see some sun developing in as we get into the second half of the day tomorrow. The weekend looks fantastic. That's a snapshot from Sunday. And then a lot of warm air as we get into early next week. 70s, and I still think some spots may make a run at 80 at some point early next week. Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, especially Tuesday or Wednesday. Now the next system then rolls in thereafter. This is Friday evening on the European model. Somehow these got out of order, but there's the European model Friday evening. The GFS is a pretty dynamic looking system. That'd be a nasty severe weather threat across the southeast Thursday evening and Thursday afternoon if that's correct, but the European is much more docile looking than the GFS. So we'll see how that system later on next week wants to behave. All right, so that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Stay warm, and God bless.